Hello guys, Jack here, and welcome back to Thronefall. We have a new map, Wildbach. It's a lush jungle with rivers and waterfalls, and here's what we're using. More armor, health, regen, and an attack speed buff to the nearest tower. We have a sword, and we're doing it with no mutations to change the difficulty. And here we are right into the first night. We're fighting enemies with big flails, and it's just us with no towers. We haven't gotten any damage upgrades yet, so this is the slowest fight of the game. I spent my money on a harbor and some houses because I'm greedy, and the more money you make early on, the more it compounds. Of course, you need money to buy more economy upgrades, of course, but also upgrades to your character, troop barracks, upgrades to your troops, these shrines, towers, walls, everything. It's enjoyable that there's not like multiple resources to balance like in other games. You just get gold and you spend that gold on others because the main focus of this is tower defense. And I'm doing this a little bit differently than I usually do. I actually set my character up to be a main damage dealer. Like I was saying, I have lots of armor on him, and I'm going to buy the upgrades that give me more damage. And my favorite town hall upgrade is the one that if you use your special attack, I have a big area sweeping attack with my sword, it cuts the cooldown in half. And so that has some serious damage. Here you go, we have some flying creatures attacking us. I bought this shrine, which activates when you kill, I think, about 10 enemies in the vicinity, and then it attacks you. And then I just bought a bunch of towers. Those guys wanted to attack your troops, so it's easy to just place them there. Here I buy a mill, and I get the one that has anti-air defenses. Don't ask me how, I guess the scarecrows are magic. And I buy some more houses, always good to balance your economy. And here we go, this is a new enemy, a little slime guy, and they have a ranged attack. I've seen the little balls before on the ice level that has the big like fish that attacks you in the middle, and they're pretty cool. I like them as an enemy. The sword is definitely the best thing to deal with these enemies, and I haven't actually played this map before. This is my first playthrough, so it was lucky that I decided to choose it because it makes it really easy to handle them. Later on, when we get some more damage, it's really satisfying. You can just destroy them in one shot. And here we go, we get a royal upgrade center, and I'm going for one for myself right off the bat, and I get more damage with my weapon, which includes my secondary attack, and then the general upgrade I got plus 20% damage for melee things. Always buying some more houses, and here we go, more melee weapons. I go over to see where they spawn, and I try and do my best to deal my damage, use my special attack, and then the real damage starts happening when they get engaged in my towers. You can see the tower at the back, it's firing every 2 seconds or so, but then the one that's closest to us almost has a continuous stream of fire. I actually really like this perk, it's kind of fun. I think on certain maps where there's a choke point, like maybe this one, or I'm sure other ones have it, you can just upgrade one tower and go really hard with that one and then sit next to it and keep it upgraded, and it'll probably deal some good damage. This explosion farm is fun. It's, you know, right in the middle of the action, so presumably it's gonna die eventually. And so you do the explosion and it's no big deal. I bought the shrine up there because I want to kill these spiders that I see spawning up here, and they'll be in the vicinity, and then we'll have a tower up there. You can see the big guy is actually pretty tanky. I really like the direction of the art style on this map. The red and yellow with the blue water is really enjoyable. And I'm thinking like, oh, I did good with these spiders, and I come down here and I'm like, oh shit, there's a lot of them. But thankfully my special attack there just absolutely cleans up a lot of them, which is always really satisfying. And we only lose the general upgrade center and not the one for me. Over here you see we have some flying enemies coming from over across the water, so I decided to get the towers and upgrade them. The one in the bottom there is a bunker tower. That's a new tower upgrade. And it starts off firing really slow, but the more it fires, the faster it goes. And so you see by the end here, it's firing crazy. It's like a stream of water. And they come through, they kill one of our houses, maybe two, but it's not the end of the world. Unfortunately, I did not see my health at all, so I didn't notice it. And so the tower loses the buff, and then they manage to destroy my harbor, which is annoying because that's 5 gold we miss out on. Yeah, and so the other tower upgrades you can get, there's a general one that just increases health and projectile speed. There's one that makes it armored, so the first hit it receives doesn't count, and then it has a shield for 5 seconds and gets more health. There's one that, like the bunker that I said, turns it into a machine gun. And then there's a sniper tower, which increases the range, but it has a much longer reload. You see the enemies are coming from all over. I deploy my troops so they can handle it, and then I go up in the north to deal with these guys. And you can see we have the damage buff upgrades now. and so we're killing them. Also, whenever we use our attack here, that special attack, it doesn't go to 100% cooldown, it stops at 50%, which is great. You can use it a lot more. And there, as I'm going, I actually slash with it just to keep that cooldown alive. Another new thing with this update is they have a map. If you look in the bottom right where the gold usually is, you can see that. And this map kind of looks like a fat person, or maybe a woman with like ET to her right. I decided to go for another upgrade, and I get melee damage again. And I'm upgrading my towers because, as you can see, there's a lot of enemies coming from the south. And I go for a support mage. I'm not sure I've ever used this guy before, but he comes in handy. He does healing, which is actually really good, especially because if I'm on the front line, if he targets me, it's really helpful. We have our spearmen here handling these spiders, and there's our first big spider. That's actually massive. If you have arachnophobia, it might not be the game for you. Actually, I gotta say, maybe from the lethal company I've played, I've developed that. Those spiders are terrifying when they scribble towards you. You see, unfortunately, the spider destroys our farms, and the explosion doesn't do too much to him, but when the farm exploded, it really cleared out the other guys. We have a whole bunch of towers in the south, so that was handled no problem, but like I said, it was just our spearmen up here, and me. We put in some serious work. He's almost destroyed the upgrade center, which I don't want to happen because it delays your upgrades. By one night. It has to be alive for it to complete, but we just managed to hold on. And we have a bunch of flying creatures. Now these guys like to come towards your troops, and so when I'm over here I see, oh, there's 2 shrines, and one thing with shrines is the more you have active, the damage for all of your other shrines is increased. So I'm thinking, oh, why don't I be greedy again and get these shrines activated here? I'll put all of my troops in the center. I'll have lots of towers. I'm sure by the time they get here, they'll all be dead. And I have my buff. So I bring them over, and you can see they just go straight from my town center. Here's my troops, and there's so many of them, they just absolutely start shredding the troops. And my town center. It also really doesn't help that I die, and you can see that's one of the fastest losses I've ever had. And so we're back. Let's try day 10 again. I realize that's a bit too greedy. I do buy both the shrines again just in case, but I have a bit more balance. I have a few troops around my other towers, so they won't just fly right past my towers, and they can hopefully soften them up. I also use the new building in this map, which is the temple. Basically, you buy it, it gives you a one-time buff for the following round, and it can help with power spikes. So like this one, I struggled with it, so I bought one that increases the damage of my towers per round. However, it makes your towers take 1 hit point of damage per second. However, the rounds really don't last that long, so it's fine. You can see we got one of the shrines almost up, but that was it. So a bit of a waste, and I'm not sure any enemies even get back up here, because that's just how good we are. We go for Royal Mastery, more HP for us, and more damage, and now we're really going to be kicking ass. And you know me, love the fire archers. I think at nighttime too, the direction of the art style is cool because the little green trees really pop out against the, I guess the blue, deep blue of nighttime. And you can't even tell that the ground's red at night, which is cool as well. I don't know if I'd call this a jungle map though, that's straight from the development notes. It just kind of seems more like a forest with some like mesa-like things with these, you know, these big steps over there. But, you know, whatever floats your boat. I do definitely love these waterfalls and rivers. More fire archers, upgrade the gate. And I gotta say, it's very satisfying what the stone walls look like in this game. See, we're right in the thick of it, using a special attack. And here you go, look at this big damage. Ready? You're gonna walk up here. Boom. We almost kill a bunch of them, and we do kill a ton. And you can see we just cut their attack right in half. I go in for one more hit. There you go. They're all pretty much gone now. No need to worry on this defense. Plus, we have still lots of archers. Kind of go down, check over here. You can see these guys were almost breaking through. They killed most of the melee, but we go in and with 2 hits, they're all dead. How much gold do we make now? We went from 20 to 80. That's 60 gold per turn. That's pretty damn good. Upgrading the towers. I was deciding what I should do here because Each tower has different strengths, and you don't want to get the wrong one. Like there in the corner, I get the one that can fire on 2 different enemies because it's in between 2 different attack points, so we'll probably always have that option. And the most classic one of selecting the right one is the sniper towers, right? If they're a little bit far away from the action, you definitely want to have the sniper tower so they can actually be involved. And that's a really good one. Buying the fire tower. If there's ever a chance that enemies will be underneath it, it's a really good buy, especially if you combo it with the armored tower and you have a bunch more health. And now you can see how much damage we do to these big spiders with all of our upgrades now. About 20% damage with our major attack, and with our fire archers supporting us, absolutely no problem. If you remember the first night they spawned, it almost seemed like we were doing absolutely nothing. And you can see with this big wave attack, when we just slam our sword into them, they all just disappear and it's no problem. I run down to the south and it's just like last time. I'm like, oh my god, holy shit, there's so many of them. They destroy both of our buildings, unfortunately. But now we're here and look at that fire tower go. It's absolutely shredding them, and it helps that we're down there too. Wasn't actually too big of a deal. And that's it. Really good map. Really enjoy this and the new towers. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, consider subscribing. It puts a big grin on my face, and take care.